You wanna f me? So here's my It's a virus, I get it. Like, people are gonna die. I was like, I don't wanna kiss James.
How could I ever repay you?
I think you can guess.
Vanessa had a serious leak scandal that almost destroyed her career.
It's time we all apologize to Vanessa Hudgens for her 2007 leaked photo scandal.
You know, regardless if it's true or if it's not, you know, personal question.
Vanessa Hudgens has been trashed by the media. They completely ruined her clean slate Disney image and exploited her any chance they got. Actually, someone collected a bunch of Vanessa's photos and slowly released them along with her movie roles to destroy her career. Vanessa Hudgens has been in plenty of scandals and controversies, so let's get into it. Vanessa Hudgens is a Disney star original, but throughout her career, she's been through a lot, and she's had her fair share of controversial moments. In this video, we're gonna break down some of her missteps and some moments where she was clearly taken advantage of. There are so many creeps in Hollywood, and the media has definitely over-sexualized her. Let's begin by talking about the obvious, High School Musical. Vanessa played the lead role of Gabriella in the Disney movie back in 2006. She was starring alongside Zac Efron, and as you guys know, they ended up having a real-life relationship. And we'll talk a little bit about their relationship, but when Vanessa looks back on High School Musical, she claims it completely derailed her career because essentially she wanted to be some type of indie character in movies. Actually, she was quoted saying that she would like to have played a drug addict or a stripper or a prostitute. And of course, Disney has nothing like that available.
Oh, I love a flashback.
Oh my god. It's just amazing to see that girls get to do rescuing too.
Oh yes, girls get to rescue.
Cool.
Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider.
Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider.
Who are you, Vanessa?
What do you think of when you see that girl?
Girl, that's what happens when you don't wash your face. But I applaud myself for how together I had it. Dreams do come true.
Now, when I was younger, of course, I saw High School Musical, and I think everyone was surprised to see that these two, Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, had a real-life relationship. And even though it seemed so romantic as a young kid watching this movie and then seeing it play out in real life, there were definitely a lot of problems within their relationship, and I think that Vanessa struggled with Zac's stardom.
Working with Vanessa, it's really fun, you know, we really were friends pretty much from the moment we met. She's always been really easy to talk to, and, you know, with a relationship like that, you know, being friendly and two people that know how to communicate, your chemistry is always going to be there. So we have a great time.
Back when High School Musical was popular, every girl wanted to be with Zac Efron, and that put a lot of pressure on Vanessa. When Vanessa was asked about their toxic relationship, she was quoted saying, "I went through a phase where I was really mean because I was so fed up. Girls were running after him and I was giving them death stares." Vanessa claims that the two broke up because they both had busy work schedules and were filming at different locations around the world. Quote, "Long distance relationships are hard no matter what. When you don't have face-to-face time, it's just different. Having an iPhone helped, but it wasn't the same." And I do want to acknowledge that it's probably really difficult that Vanessa was working on this big role and had her love life involved as well. But I think that's part of the reason why the movie did so well, because people can tell that these two really did have something going.
I just remember the most extraordinary thing was the chemistry that Zac and Vanessa had. And I just remember that no matter how talented anybody was that walked into the room, that there was something else that was happening every time they did anything together.
Young love.
And it was just, it was so simple, and it was unique for me to see that it was impossible to go any other way. And to everyone else, it was just like they came in that room, and when they were together, there was just nothing that could compare to it. It was so special, it was so wonderful, and look what it did. I mean,
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
So there's no denying the chemistry is there, but there were some problems. I mean, they were both so young and there was a lot of external pressure. So there were moments where these two weren't necessarily professional on set. Vanessa was actually quoted telling a story about one time where she and Zach had a fight while they were at rehearsals, and actually one of the big bosses came around the corner with the most concerned look on his face, saying, "Oh no, is our movie going to fall apart right now?" So not only were these girls chasing after Zac Efron and they had a lot of pressure from society, but also in the workplace because they've got this big budget movie, and if these two have a falling out, will that affect the production? But High School Musical didn't go on forever, and Vanessa ended up moving on. It took some time, but she eventually broke free of her Disney persona. One film that helped her do that was Spring Breakers, an R-rated crime drama about a group of girls who get arrested while on their spring break vacation. I've never seen that film, so comment below if you guys have, but Vanessa claims that this role didn't really align with her as well, yet she does admit that she likes a good rave.
I'm a raver. I'm a hardcore raver. I feel like people are always like, I didn't know you loved that kind of music that much. And I'm like, it's me in a nutshell. There's nothing better to me than having a heavy, trancey bass going with a smoke machine in a warehouse with lasers. That's my ultimate jam.
So maybe Spring Breakers was good for her going down a different path in her career, but at some point the movie roles became more intense and people didn't really appreciate seeing their favorite Disney star, dressing as a stripper. Personally, I think it's impressive that she was able to, graduate from being a child star and landing adult roles, because a lot of child stars can't do that, yet she was slammed for acting all sexy in a movie that has nothing to do with Disney. This report writes that Vanessa's latest raunchy role as a sex performer is a far cry from her High School Musical roots, causing one group to slam Hollywood executives for exploiting the actress. Quote, "The entertainment industry is intent on teaching young women that the way to succeed in life is to let people use them." From Lindsay Lohan to Britney Spears to Miley Cyrus, what would Hollywood do if it couldn't exploit former Disney stars for sex? The clip that offended everyone shows Vanessa playing a prostitute in a film called The Frozen Ground. The movie is based on a true story of Cindy Paulson, a 17-year-old who escaped the clutches of an Alaskan serial killer in 1983. Vanessa was dressed in black skimpy panties and a matching bra. Vanessa gives the role her all as she crawls on stage and proactively twists around a stripper pole, which I think, it's a story that happened. It's part of life, but it's just, I guess people could not come to terms with seeing Vanessa Hudgens, their High School Musical favorite, acting in a role like this.
Where's your family?
Why you wanna know that? Huh? You wanna f me? Is that what you want?
No. Thought if you might want to go home, maybe I could find a way to...
Man, are you f***ing for real? What the f do you think I'm gonna do there, huh? Say, here's my Oh, you didn't know I've been a f since like the 6th grade?
Another person was quoted saying that Hollywood executives act more like predators who use young stars for their own success. They seem to make it almost a matter of policy by sexing up former Disney stars as soon as they are of legal age. Quote, "The movie industry has a twisted affection for making raunchy films that use and abuse former child stars." End quote. And there are definitely some moments in Vanessa's career that she's not fond of. Like, for example, she was to kiss James Franco in a production, and that's something that really bothered her, and it seems like it stuck with her.
I was just happy I had Ashley, because I was like, I don't want to kiss James, but I'll kiss Ashley.
You didn't want to kiss James Franco?
Well, I mean, I'd rather kiss a girl than a guy, really.
If you could erase one sexual experience from your memory, discluding the night, I was gonna say the night I lost my virginity, which would it be and why? Jesus.
Yeah, these are real easy questions.
Oh, these are horrible. Does the James Franco situation count?
Oh, wow! Yes, that counts.
Okay, there you go.
There it is. Okay, there it goes. All right.
I'm so glad that's over.
Yeah, man, that was easy.
You guys know that James Franco has a dark past. I have a video talking about the allegations and the charges and everything that went down, so maybe Vanessa was onto something there. But nonetheless, she has been under a microscope for a very long time, and actually back in 2011, she was photographed allegedly doing cocaine The High School Musical star became embroiled in controversy after she was snapped licking a mysterious substance off her fingers at Coachella. She actually claims that it is not cocaine, but it is white chocolate that she was sucking off of her fingers, which interesting that the media would take this and just run and assume that that's a drug. And also, I thought like sniffed it. Vanessa actually waited a couple years to address this controversy. She claims that she no longer lets rumors about her personal life bother her. Quote, I am so comfortable with myself, honing in on what I love and what makes me powerful. Things I've been doing lately, I'm super proud of. So I don't care if someone doesn't like it because I love it. Now that quote was pulled from a couple years ago when she was talking about the roles that she was playing and the backlash, but something that's a little bit more recent was her controversy around the COVID pandemic. And I think it's interesting because I hadn't heard of like Vanessa Hudgens for a couple of years at this point. And then I remember when she made these comments, everyone was coming after her. She did an Instagram live and she made light of the coronavirus pandemic, speaking about increasing social distancing efforts happening around the country. Quote, yeah, until July sounds like a bunch of BS. I'm sorry, it's a virus. I get it, like I respect it. But at the same time, even if everyone gets it, like, yeah, people are going to die, which is terrible, but inevitable. So clearly people felt like her comments were pretty insensitive.
Yeah, till July sounds like a bunch of bull. I'm sorry. But like, it's a virus, I get it. Like, I respect it. But at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible, but like, inevitable? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now.
So this clip went viral and people on Twitter were super upset. But Vanessa wasn't ready to apologize. She actually went back on Instagram Live, which I'm like, where's your team stopping you from doing this? But she claims that she has now been taken advantage of by people who are taking her comments out of context, and clarifies that she was in fact at home and in lockdown and she's following the rules, but she just doesn't like the mandate. It wasn't until later that Vanessa released an actual apology on Twitter, writing, I realized my words were insensitive and not at all appropriate for the situation in our country and around the world. This has been a huge wake-up call to the significance my words have now more than ever. Like I said, I remember when she made these comments and people were pissed. So eventually she had to apologize for this, whether she really felt sorry or not.
Hey guys, so yesterday I did an Instagram live and I realized today that some of my comments are being taken out of context. It's a crazy time. It's a crazy time, and I am at home and in lockdown, and that's what I hope you guys are doing too. In full quarantine and staying safe and sane. Yeah, I don't take this situation lightly by any means. I am home. So stay inside, y'all.
Now let's switch gears and talk about the moment that really screwed up Vanessa's career and her reputation, because there were some inappropriate photos that were going around of Vanessa while she was tangled up with Zach. They were still dating, I believe, at this point, back in 2007, when these photos of Vanessa were leaked online. She claims that these photos were taken privately and she was only 18, so barely legal. Of course, Zach had to answer to this, and he was confronted on the red carpet, on radio shows, and this is what he had to say.
There's been sort of a bit of controversy about it at the moment. I know you found out about it on the red carpet last night about some supposed photos of your apparent girlfriend, Vanessa.
Really?
Do you know about this? Is this true, or is this just something that's been made up?
You know, regardless if it's true or if it's not, you know, personal question, and I don't talk about any of my friends' personal lives. So.
Kyle.
Right. What? No, I'm just laughing because I know it'd be awkward. Like, whether it's true or not, it'd be like if someone said to me,
oh, apparently there's Tamara.
Tamara's all over the thing. I would have thought, oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about it.
Well,
and I would
regardless,
do the same
you know,
way.
no one's seen anything yet. So.
That's right.
Exactly. That's why I wondered if it was just a rumor at this stage.
Now this story gets interesting because people were wondering how these photos leaked of Vanessa Hudgens, and there's one child star in particular who looks like they're the one to blame, and it actually turns out it's an enemy of the channel, Drake Bell. I was very surprised to see his name come into the mix because you guys know Drake and I have gone back and forth back and forth way too many times, and supposedly he's the one who had access to this photo. A source close to the situation told People magazine that once upon a time, Vanessa sent these photos to Drake Bell. Vanessa had actually emailed the photos to him a couple of years ago before she was famous, which would mean that she's a minor at this point, I believe. Drake claims that he never received these photos, but these two know each other because in 2006, Vanessa actually played Drake's girlfriend in an episode of Drake and Josh.
Thank you, Becca. How could I ever repay you?
I think you can guess. Let me know if you need more help.
Let me know if you need any more Drake.
Even though Drake was probably the one to release these photos, Vanessa had to apologize for the pictures and says that she was embarrassed over the situation and regrets ever having taken those photos. Because Vanessa was so young at this point and still wrapped up with Disney, Disney had a lot of say on what to do next. And luckily, Disney did appreciate Vanessa's apologies, so Disney gave her a second chance. They didn't publicly comment on the situation. It seemed like they wanted to just ignore it and let it pass on by. But this could have been bad for everyone because they were negotiating the third High School Musical, and this scandal could have stopped everything from happening. Disney did comment saying that Vanessa has apologized for what was obviously a lapse in judgment. We hope that she learned a valuable lesson.
Once upon a time, Vanessa had a serious leak scandal that almost destroyed her career. She had over 30 spicy selfies on her phone that was made public for the whole world to see.
Can I just say what everybody in this room is thinking but nobody has said? Where's Vanessa Hudgens? Girl, you got to keep your clothes on! Phones are for phone calls, girl!
Disney pulled the plug on her, and she apologized to her fans and friends. But let's be real, she wasn't the only celeb dealing with this mess. Jennifer Lawrence, Miley Cyrus, Bella Thorne, and plenty of others also had their private pics leaked. Finally, people started realizing that it wasn't their fault for taking some steamy photos. It was those evil hackers causing all the trouble. Thankfully, Vanessa bounced back and started starring in more risque movies, and even posted some daring pics on the gram. Looks like she's embracing her sexy side.
So Hollywood forgave Vanessa for these photos, but this wasn't her only photo leak scandal. In 2009, more photos of Vanessa were resurfacing and people were calling her a hypocrite that she did not learn her lesson. But supposedly these photos are actually old and they were just leaked from, I guess, that past time, and we never really saw these. Her lawyer, Christopher Wong, told the media that Vanessa is deeply upset and angered that these old photos, which were taken years ago, continue to resurface. It is particularly disturbing that whoever got a hold of these private photos seemed to be intent on illegally leaking them over a long period of time. We are working with law enforcement to determine who's responsible and hold them accountable for their actions, as they should. And Vanessa stayed true to her word. They were trying to figure out who did this to her. So she actually sued the owner of a website which published the first set of shots, saying that they were obtained by unknown methods and posted without her knowledge or consent. One of the reasons why they're suing this website is because it seems like the timing of these photos being leaked were actually designed to damage the success of her movie. She had a role in a new movie called Sucker Punch, and it seemed like whoever was releasing these photos were trying to do it right before her movies would go out, and it would just cause a big distraction and pretty much tarnish her role in that movie. Vanessa claims that this entire situation has been very traumatizing for her. Quote, "It's really effed up that people feel like they are entitled enough to share something that personal with the world." And I think everyone can agree that just because these photos were taken doesn't mean that she's a bad person. It's actually really frightening to think that there are people out there actively holding on to these to destroy someone. I mean, that sounds like revenge.
It's time we all apologize to Vanessa Hudgens for her 2007 leaked photo scandal. The year was 2007 and Vanessa Hudgens was skyrocketing to superstardom because of her role as Gabriella Montez in the High School Musical franchise. When all of a sudden private photos of Vanessa Hudgens leaked all over the internet and almost derailed her career completely. Vanessa, who was only 18 or 19 years old at the time, was then forced to publicly apologize for the photos leaking, saying that she had deeply regretted taking the photos to begin with. She even went on to publicly apologize to her fans in case they felt let down by the photos. And because of someone else not respecting her privacy and leaking these photos, Vanessa was publicly humiliated for these photos for years. That being said, Vanessa, I am so sorry that you ever had to experience any of this. I am sorry that those photos were leaked to begin with, and I'm sorry that you ever had to apologize for something that we should have been apologizing to you for. Justice for Vanessa.
Vanessa really does fall into that group of pop girls like Lindsay Lohan, Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, who have been taken by the media and put through the ringer. When the Me Too movement came around, Vanessa was outspoken because she claims that she's been in situations where people talk inappropriately to her and she's had to stand up for herself. She also spoke a little bit about her privacy, saying, as an actor, you completely lose all grip of your own privacy and it's really sad. It feels like that shouldn't be the case, but unfortunately, if enough people are interested, they're going to do everything they can to get to know as much about you as they can, which is flattering, I guess, but then people take it too far and then end up divulging things that should be personal. I think it's great that Vanessa is a supporter of the Me Too movement because she fits right into that, being taken advantage of by the media, but there are also some things she's done after the fact that make me question where her morals lie. If you guys don't know Woody Allen, definitely go and watch my videos about him because he is a monster, yet Vanessa dreams of working with him. Woody Allen has long been at the center of a sexual abuse controversy after being accused by his adoptive daughter of harming her when she was 7 years old. Yet that news hasn't stopped Vanessa from wanting to work with him. When a reporter asked Vanessa if she was bothered by the allegations around Woody Allen and, the fact that she would want to work with him, Vanessa stood her ground, saying, quote, I don't know him. I've never met him. I only know what I've heard. And the fact is, I love his films. I love the romantic worlds that are created within them. So she obviously did not do her research on him, or if she did, she didn't care. Other than that, Vanessa has been able to steer clear from any major scandals. I mean, one of her most recent scandals involves her moaning too much when talking about one of her new tattoos, which I think this is kind of like, BS, not that big of a deal. She was super excited about her new tattoo. It was the first time she was seeing it while she was filming, and in this clip she's like moaning a ton and people felt like it was just way unnecessary. And honestly, I just think she's being goofy in that moment. I don't think she's trying to push any narrative, and it's sad that she has to constantly defend herself. In an Instagram story, she clapped back, writing, you guys better stop with the moaning crap because it's not like I made a video and was like, oh, I'm gonna moan in this video. No, that's just my reaction. So no, I don't moan all the time. And frankly, I believe her, but I wanna hear what you guys think of this story in the comments below. Vanessa Hudgens has definitely been through it, and I don't know if I would be able to handle all of that, especially like the idea that there's someone who just has a bunch of your dudes like slowly leaking them over time to ruin your life. Like, who's motivated to do all of that? But here's my email if you guys have any other video ideas for me, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.